Hello, it's the Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. It's been a little while since we've done an episode of Decent Defeats. I think this is actual episode 8 now, so I thought I'd get one out there to show you. We've got featuring the Banshee in this video, the tier 7 British medium tank, the insane tank of the Terran, the tier 10 Russian TD, which is obviously disgusting. We'll get to that. And the Tiger Shark, the tier 8 German light tank, which is also a fabulous tank. But on to the replay then. So the first replay is in the Banshee, which I probably said before is one of my favourite tier 7 medium tanks. And I like the play style, but also I just love the skin. And I think it's that really which kind of makes me enjoy the tank, because I just really enjoy the look of this tank. So yeah, it's one of my favourite tier 7 medium tanks. It's got a decent, fairly accurate gun, very low alpha gun, but great rate of fire. So we're on here on Malafka in the usual position I take from the start, but it's quite a weird one. And a lot of our team is kind of sitting here with me. And we haven't really sent anything to the hill, and we haven't really sent anything down the 1-2 line. So I'm not too sure how this is going to happen, this one. I believe we are quite top tier on this one, which helps. I'm not going to sit there at the moment with no shots to make. I'm trying to make something happen for our team, because I feel like we're in our positioning is as a whole is not brilliant. We haven't really taking control of a lot of a map. We do have quite a lot of TDs in our team, so I guess that's probably one of the reasons. But yeah, as you see, I moved into this position. Sorry, and we spotted the TDs camping at the enemy base. The concern with me being here is if we lose the 1-2 line, they're going to have easy shots into the side rear of my tank. And it's going to cause me a little bit of problem. And although I have decent gun depression in this tank, I'm kind of struggling to get shots into these TDs without really, exposing myself too much. I am trying to keep them lit in the hope that some of our tank destroyers may have shots, or maybe our artillery, our fun police will have shots. But it's looking very much so that we may end up losing the 1-2. And then I'm going to have to reconsider me being in this position, because I'm not even able to outspot the tanks which are in the building. And I think that's the final decision I made, that look, this is not going to work for me. I'm going to move back to sort of where I was and see if I can get into a position to shoot the tanks coming down from the 1-2. But at the same time, we're losing the hill. But I think the tanks in the 1-2 are going to push quickly, and they may currently being lit up by our heavy tank. And I might be able to get a few shots into these, particularly the light tanks. And if I can get rid of the light tanks, then that's obviously going to make myself a lot easier. Especially this awful Panther, that tank, is fantastic. So I do want to get rid of that if I can. And we do manage to take out that. I think we track him and get a little bit of track assistance. But this is what I'm talking about. We've got no presence on the hill, no presence down the 1-2. I need to win one side, and I think that the 1-2 is probably going to be the best bet, just because they're going to be stuck out in the open at the moment. And we're able to sort of keep them spotted through this bush. And I'm trying to kill them as quickly as I can, focusing down the tanks to try and sort of even out the score. And also, the closer they get, then when I shoot, I'm going to get spotted. So if I can keep them at this distance, then that's the ideal scenario. Because I'm not going to be getting lit up in return, because I am top tier and I'm behind the bush, and I'm making use there of that sort of mechanic. But I think at this stage, what I really need to happen is our light tank is currently sitting at like the C1 area. He's on sort of full health. I could really do with him, winning the, spotting out the 1-2 line or the field location, because at the moment, if we lose the hill and we lose this side, we're going to have nowhere to fall back. We're going to be pincered and we're going to have nowhere to go. And that is a concern. So I really kind of wanted that to happen. But if I sort of full send down there myself, I'm not going to be able to cover the hill. I really just wanted the light tank to go down there for us. But that doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I'm going to try and get myself into a position where I can potentially get shots on the stuff coming off the hill, but then also maybe get as safe as I can from the stuff coming down the 1-2. But this T25-2's just done an absolute full send, so we're able to quickly shut that tank down, which is nice. We do get our first bit of damage taken in the game, but we have done 2,200 damage and 500 assistance. But the score, you know, we've only got one fun police, me and this heavy, who is Sir Duck. So naturally, I think I need to support the ducks. You know, I've got to look after the ducks. So I'm going to move into position to get behind this bush and hope the stuff which he's going to spot in a minute coming off the hill, and see if I can get as many shots into them, really punish them, and just make, you know, the T25 is obviously going to lose hit points here for them pushing. Try and make the most out of his hit points lost. And yeah, I think we did that. We did manage to take out a T29, and we got a couple of shots of this Plague Bearer. But now, like you say, I'm I'm kind of stuck. I've got me and this light tank and a fun police, and nowhere to go. Maybe if I'd have left earlier and just pushed down the 1-2, maybe that was the play, because at that point I could have just covered the cap from the 1-2, and I'd have had a greater distance between me and the enemy. But at the same time, I did take out the T29, so it's hard to really say. But now yeah, I'm a bit concerned. When I get lit, I'm going to get shot by artillery. A lot of these tanks are quite healthy. I'm just trying to focus tanks out at a time. I have to take out the guns if I've got any chance of somehow coming through this. And that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm just trying to get as many shots into as many the tanks as I can to you know, get the guns out of the game. We managed to get one, but we're taking too much shots in return. We hope we are able to kill the T34 85s. We took out another gun, but we're never going to be able to take out this full health medium tank here. And it's just about getting as much damage in as I can now. But unfortunately, it does shut me down. And that brings an end to that one. It's, yeah, like I say, the first decent defeat. I think maybe if I'd have just pushed back to the 1-2 line, back to the field, maybe that would have been a different. But I think it was kind of like these situations where I needed to suffer it in the field. I needed them lit immediately, because it was all about getting that damage off as quickly as possible. We was going to be able to pull that one off. We don't do that. We do get the ace tanker. We get 4 kills, 4,200 damage, 600 assistance, and that's not a bad amount of damage for the Banshee, just because, like I say, it doesn't have a big alpha gun. But yeah, hope you like that one. We've got 2 more replays to come, so stay with us, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so here we are for the second replay of the video, and we are in the Terran. Now, this tank is dirty. It's got 950 alpha and insane camo. Personally, I don't think we should have 950 alpha TD in the game, but we do, and it is sickeningly disgusting. This is actually, believe it or not, because I haven't done many replays in this tank, so I've not really played that many games in it. And this was probably one of the first replays I've had in the tank. Well, the first game, almost probably the second game I played in a tank, I believe, and I've had it all this time. I've, you know, yet to use it. So we are on Cliff. It is tank team destruction, and there is 2 fun police apiece. That's the one sort of weakness of this tank, is that it is paper. If you're shooting this tank, you shoot the turret with HE, it has 0 armour. Absolute 0 armour. I should aim lower there, and I've just bounced that shot, which I should have hit. So that's, you know, 950 damage potentially just gone from this game for poor aim shot. But like I say, it was one of the first times I played it, so I was still adjusting a little bit to it. But I do made that mistake there. Yeah, so what was I saying? This has no armour. So if you get shot by artillery, if it's anywhere near you, it's taking a lot of health off of you, because it does have no armour. It does have insane, really good camo value, and yeah, 950 alpha for a tank which is not even that slow. It's pretty manoeuvrable for a TD really, with that camo and that alpha. I think it struggles to get to its top speed, but yeah, it's still pretty manoeuvrable. So yeah, we've had a bit of a shaky start to the game here. You know, really, I think I should have had at least 1 pen out of this situation. But yeah, we're still in the game. We haven't lost any hit points, so we're going to carry on looking for shots at the moment. I want to get rid of these initial tanks. Yeah, so we actually low rolled massively on that E100 there. We hit him for 813, and that's a low roll, a really bad low roll, because it's got 950 alpha. But that's just how crazy this tank is. Yeah, 950 alpha. Or, I don't know what they was thinking there. To be honest with you, I can't really say I think it's good. But well, it's definitely a great tank. I'm not sure if it's a good move for the game or not. But people may really love playing it, and so that's a world of opinions. So. I managed to get my first couple of pens of damage. I'm trying to get behind this house to give me somewhat protection from the fun police, and also just lose my spot. But I think at this point we've got rid of the Yagi 100, we got rid of the 100. There's no point sitting here anymore. I need to get more involved in the game because nothing's going to push down this 1-2 line anymore. They're just going to sit there like our tanks are going to be sitting there. Doing nothing for a while. So I've got this opportunity to potentially kill this. Yagi 100. We do dirty heat shell straight through its superstructure. Absolutely sickening. We're swapping back to the AP now because it does have good pen. We don't need the heat. We just put the heat in for the. We didn't want to be bouncing shots off that E100, etc. It was just going to be an easier pen for us. But I want to get a bit more involved in the game now and see if we can get any shots. I'm concerned because when I do get lit here, Fun Police has got, could have a world of a time with me. But we managed to take out that Brass. You notice I'm reversing. That's because obviously I want to be able to get out of the situation quickly. It's a rear-mounted turret as well, which helps. But the most important thing is that I can drive forward. You don't want to drive forward into this bit because then it's going to be harder to escape. You always want to put yourself in a position where you're thinking, how do I get out of this position if I get lit up? This light tank in the hill, that's a little bit of a concern for me. I take a shot there because I didn't think that medium was going to get lit again. I wish I waited because I could have killed him. But you see here behind these bushes, I'm not getting spotted even taking the shot because of the good camo value of the tank. We're going to try to take out this T68, get rid of a tank. We will be able to one-shot him if we hit him. And we connect. We do get spotted by that tank destroyer making his way. I'm going to move him, because I don't want to get shot by this artillery. And then I'm just going to sort of, get rid of my sixth sense and pop up to try and get another shot in. It's got a decent reload for that 950 Alpha as well. You don't feel like you're just sitting there forever waiting for it to reload. It is such a great tank. Already up to sort of 5,000 damage. And we're going to try and get a shot into the side of this Yag Tiger, which we do. Again, another low roll for 900. You see the Fun Police went for me there. Thankfully, he missed. Otherwise, that wouldn't be very pleasant. I was on a slight slope, which made the shot a little bit harder. Definitely not impossible, just a little bit harder. And we're going to try now and get a shot. We're looking to try and take out that light tank because that's going to be, as always, the pets, because a lot of the other tanks are quite slow. So I should be able to, hopefully use the map, keep the distance, and outspot those tanks. But the light tank is obviously going to be a concern. And as well as these two Fun Police here, I'm waiting at the moment just for my team to move forward. I mean, I've got a heavy still sat like the G or the E sort of 2 position. Not too sure what he's waiting for there. There was only one TD back there, I believe, which was the grill. Well, at least that's what I know. There may be others there, but they're not pushing, so he's not going to get any shots. So we're better positioned to move forward. We've seen an opportunity to get his TD. I needed to overextend to get that shot into that Fun Police. I didn't want to take the risk because I suspected that the other artillery, as you see, which you just splashed me there for 700 hit points, was potentially looking at me. So I didn't want to overextend there. So I took the chance just to get out of there. Thankfully, I'm still alive. I did lose 700 hit points, even though the shot landed nowhere near us. That's because this has absolutely 0 turret armour. We're trying to now, our team's quite spread out. We haven't got much of an angle. The only angle I've got is this heavy right in the corner. And I'm trying to get myself in a position to shoot some of these two E4s, which are pushing him. I would really like to get at least one shot in. But I don't want him to go down for nothing. And really, I thought I had a better shot than I did. And I didn't. Maybe I should have been here from at the start and I could have got a shot into him. And unfortunately, it's now been taken out, and I've not even punished the E4s for it. So that's probably a little bit of a mismatch. I probably should have got myself in a slightly better position there. I'm going to try and get a shot into this guy, because one of these E4s is a one shot, but it would have been really nice if we could have took him out. We went for the blind shot. It doesn't pay off. But our team's all now pushing down the 1-2, and they're actually losing, which is not great for me, because that's going to leave me in a very awkward position. Obviously, I know there's a full health light tank. We're testing the camo here, really chancing it. It's not quite that good. We're trying to get into a position we're not going to get shot by the E4. We pull back behind this rock. We don't overextend, because I know he would have had the shot if I'd have kept driving forward. So we're just going to try and use this as cover, lose the spot, and now try and reposition. But now in a 2 versus 7, and one is the fun police. And the main concern is this light tank, which I suspect is coming for us. We find him there. We're panicking now because we know we can't one-shot him. But fortunately for us, he's actually on a reload, and we've caught him at the perfect time. But I really want to take him out, because any second there's going to be a grill coming around the corner, because that's where he was last known. He just killed the other tanks. We do manage to take out the light tank. Now we can, if the grill doesn't high roll massively, because it's still on 750 alpha, eat one shell. Unless he's firing HE, which obviously, well could be to kill us. But fortunately, we do manage to take him out. And this is the most frustrating decision I made at the end of this game. I had 9,000 damage, and this is a decision. I should be going into their spawn, because the only thing they've got there is the 2 artillery pieces, and I need to make the distance from the E4. But I thought the E4s might be coming up from the top, and I was going to get into my base and then try and outspot them that way. But I made the wrong decision, because I go round the corner and boom, both the E4s have already pushed down the hill. I thought they might have to push up the hill to come for me. And if I'd have just gone the opposite way, I would have got out of there, and I easily could have outspotted those TDs. And it was well in my possibility of potentially winning that game. But that one wrong decision, it cost me a lot of damage, because I had 9,000 damage. I could have got a lot more out of that game, but that one wrong decision... and that's why it is quite frustrating, but I wanted to show it anyway, because I just wanted to show a decent defeat, when it doesn't always go your way. And that was that one. So 9,000 damage, but yeah, gutting. When I watch it back, it's frustrating, because I know if I went the other way, if I could have just created that distance between me and the E4s, I could have kept them at bay. But unfortunately, I made the wrong move, and that was it for that replay. We got one more to come. Okay, so here we are for the final replay of the video. We are in the tier 8 German light tank, the Tiger Shark. This is a fantastic light tank. It's a 3-shot auto-loader light tank, and I've actually got a few more replays of this, and sort of, some ones I actually win, some quite decent games, which I'm going to bring out soon. But I had this little defeat in the process of getting a video of the tank, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to get this into the video. We are on Hidden Village, which not the best for light tanks. I'm not really a fan of them that much either, but that's what the cards have drawn, so we're going to have to try and make best of it. We are bottom tier, and yeah, there is 2 or 3 light tanks actually. 2 light tanks in this game. And yeah, so we're going to go to our initial spot and spot the hill. I'm trying to get out of here now, because if the artillery's looking at us, he could potentially shoot 3 tanks, which wouldn't have been very good. Fortunately for us, it wasn't looking. He shot the other way. We're just trying our best, just to spot things up. It's the start of the game. I don't want to overextend. I'm looking for little cheeky shots, and just to keep stuff lit. But you see there, I could have potentially stayed to shoot more into D100. But that's the danger of these reloaders, autoloaders. You get overconfident. You think, oh, just one more shot, and then bang, you lose all your hit points. So sometimes it's just better to, wait until you've got the opportunity to dump your clip. At this point, the reload of this tank is not even very long either. So it doesn't feel like you're waiting that long when you're reloading all your rounds. So I'm just looking for a couple of cheeky shots where I can. And yeah, that's all I can really do on this map at the start. Till it's opened up, maybe a bit later in the game, where you get a bit more movement available to you. I'm just going to try and light up as many stuff as I can, and get shots in like that and this in their panzer, when they come available to me, because they are sort of winning the other side of the map here, just across the water. As this TR100 comes in, I'm trying to avoid his sort of full send. But yeah, they are winning the water side, which, well, they're potentially winning it. We have lots of guns covering it still, But yeah, I've got to be, you know, aware of that scenario, because if where I could get shots at that Ender Panther, for example, he could also get shots at me. So that's something I've got to consider when I'm using that position. But at the same time, I've got to kind of keep the eyes for the team as well. So you have to take that little bit of risk. Otherwise, you're going to run the risk of getting surrounded because you've allowed them to get too close without getting that damage in. So we have picked up a little bit of assistance. We've got sort of 1,300 assistance. I'm going to go back again just to try and keep these like light tanks lit up, for example. We're going to get behind this cover because we've got, you know, people got shots on us at the moment. We're pretty safe here from the guns. Just the artillery could splash us. But at the moment, I think the artillery is shooting down the 1-2 at the heavy line. So he's probably not going to be shooting at me at the moment because he's got easier targets for damage. We've got this sort of Centurion in a position here. We're going to try and work and see if we can get some shots in. We're using this big rock in the middle to sort of keep ourselves covered from the enemy TDs. I'm not going to full send over this ridge. That's the one thing I'm not going to do at the moment, because I know there is enemy. I think I spotted a Waffle 100 at the back. There's tank destroyers covering this position. So if I went over, you know, like the Tier 100 did to me, I probably would have get shot. You know, I'm not a difficult light tank to hit. You know, I'm fairly chunky. It's pretty movable, but it is still fairly chunky. Unlike the Tier 100s, where you got, you know, very low to the ground, a little bit more awkward to shoot. It keeps coming in, it keeps chancing it. People aren't getting the shots into him. But yeah, we picked up a little bit more damage. We haven't really got off to a massive start, but it is going to always be that sort of way in this game. We've got an opportunity to get a couple of shots into machine. Obviously, the machine has absolutely zero side armour. We get a decent shot for his lower plate. He is ammo racked as well, so he probably had to use his repair kit, otherwise it's got quite a long reload. I'm just trying to dodge the enemy guns at the moment to get myself a little bit safe, because we are down on tanks. It's now 10 versus 8. It's still in the balance, this game, but I need to be a little bit careful. I'm trying to clean up that sort of side, if I'm honest, because a lot of the stuff like that machine that in the Panzer are low health tanks, so we can take those out. Then it's going to be make my life a bit easier. I mean, the main one I want dead really is a TL100, because if he got in a one-on-one battle, he's gonna shred me really. But we've got an opportunity to potentially kill this in the Panzer now. Unfortunately, that one gets sort of shot, that gets stuck up in the terrain, but he does get shut down. And now we sort of turn the game, you know, closer. It's getting a 5 versus 6. It's been a reasonably close game all the way. I know there's still, I think, American Tier 9 tank there. This Tier 100 is full send. We get one shot in. Again, he's on a one shot, so I could have been half tempted to go over to finish him off. But I know there is some stuff covering him, so I decided to not make that decision. We have sort of pretty much lost to 1-2 at the moment. So I need to either win this side quickly or go back to help my sharpshooter there, who looks like he's in a bit of trouble. We are going to get to position. We're not going to go straight up to him, but we're hoping to get in a position that if he backs down that ridge where he's at and makes himself harder to kill, tucks in, then we may be able to get a few cover shots in. Unfortunately, it looks like he's in a little bit of bother here, and I'm not sure how much longer he's going to hold on. Doesn't help when I learn to drive from petty and crash into these big rocks. But yes, this E100 here, we have swapped to the heat shells because we're not going to pen in with the APCR from distance. You know, we're going to lose that drop off. Interestingly about these heat shells as well, unlike the standard heats, they're actually fairly accurate and got a quicker shell velocity than the APCR standard rounds. I don't know if that should be right, but they do actually have a quicker shell velocity, and it's not like firing a standard heat round. You know, they actually get there faster than my APCR bullets would, and yeah, it does make it a lot easier to hit those shots with the heat rounds like it would have a standard heat shot. We're hoping to get a shot into this SVR TV. He sort of, I suppose, his lower plate, and we actually managed to get a shot into him there. Annoyingly, we do eat one, which now means we are a one shot to the E100. A guaranteed one shot to the E100. So that it made it a little bit awkward. We potentially got an opportunity to take him out here. We bounced the first shot, should aim for a lower plate. We get one in, we set him on fire, and then we finish him off with a blind shot. Now that's helped me out a lot. But it is just me and our friendly fun police at the moment. Now this E100 is pushing me, and I don't like this engagement because I have the American Tier 9 medium auto loader as well. The one, I can't remember the name, sorry, the one just before the T57 heavy. And I don't want to be stuck there. They both know where I am, so I'm going to try and get out of the way. And if I can, you know, it's quite a small map, but try and get to a position where I'm going to be able to outspot them, because if they get too close to me, I'm not going to win that engagement. My way to win is to keep the distance in this scenario. I do obviously want to keep the tanks lit up for our friendly fun police, who does actually have, you know, it does help us out quite a lot actually in this game. He does get some nice shots into a few tanks. But yeah, I need to try and get out of the way. Fortunately, we spotted that Aussie medium tank there, which has helped us massively, because now we know where both him and the E100 is, and I know I'm safe to push the fun police. And that's what I was talking about with the help from the artillery. He slaps that guy, puts him on 400 hit points. He's now a clippable tank to me, and that will make a lot of a big difference. So I got freedom to kill this fun police now. I'm hoping he's not looking at me. He's not looking at me. I think he's actually aiming at a friendly artillery. I do take him out. Annoyingly, it's a second too late, and I could have saved our T92, which is a bit frustrating, because obviously if I could have kept him alive, as long as I could, it's going to be helpful. It's now in a 1 versus 2, but like I say, this tank is clippable. I can actually potentially eat one shot off of this tank, because he's an auto loader, but basically I'm already a one shot to E100, so whether I'm on 10 health now or 400 health, it makes no difference. So I know I can accept one shell when I'm going for this tank, and that always comes into my mind when I'm taking chances to get shot. Go, right, I can afford for him to hit me once, but I can't afford for him to hit me twice, because obviously you can't take all the hit points the next game. So we're looking to go and finish him off. He is a one shot, and we do manage to do that. And now it's put us in a 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1 against E100. And unfortunately, well, he is in the cap, which is good because I know exactly where he is. But I also know with that cap, there is not a lot of room down there. So if he actually reversed right back up and to the edge of the thing, it's going to prove difficult. And although I'm going to have enough time to get there to get a shot in for the reload, I don't have a lot of time to mess about, and I'd like to really be a bit more stealthy, take an approach where I don't have to take as much of a risk to get the shot into the E100. But I could have come from a different angle. If I had more time, I would have come from a different angle, but I don't have that time, so I can't afford to do that. So you see here's the E100. I could potentially reverse up on this ridge and look for a shot on him, but I have 8 seconds. I might not have time to do that, so I had to take a gamble. I get the reset, and I'm just hoping he misses. Unfortunately, he doesn't. Like I say, if I had more time, then I took a completely different approach to finishing him off at the end. Because if I'd have got close, I probably could have kept him at bay. And it was just a time. That's all it was. We do manage to still have a decent, game. It is a shame I couldn't kill him, but at that point, I knew it was all or nothing to go and get that reset. I knew there was a good chance of him killing me, but like I say, the time wasn't on my side, so I had to make a aggressive decision. I didn't have time to take a more tactical approach to getting the reset. But yeah, that brings us an end to the video. So thank you so much for watching, and happy tanking.
Enemy in sight! Hadouken!